age of 3, I knew I wanted to be an artist. I was given crayons and paper for Christmas, and I just really took to it. Now, luckily, my parents were also very encouraging of me, which I kind of find surprising because my father is a chemical engineer. Actually, it's worse than that. He's a safety chemical engineer. And I wouldn't really think that, having a daughter going into the arts would be thought of as such a stable career choice. Sometimes I even joke, well, maybe they just thought I would grow up and marry well or something, I don't know. But I'm so thankful that they supported my passion. And today, I'm happy to report that I'm a painter, and I'm working on large-scale public art projects, and I'm teaching and managing galleries at UNC Charlotte. Now, I absolutely love everything that I get to do, and I've gained such a wonderful community as well from it. And I especially, enjoy the social interaction. Like when I have art openings, I get to go and meet new people and have lively discussions, especially if the wine is flowing, making the edges of everything glow just a little bit. But it's nights like those that I come home, plop on the couch, kick off my shoes, and I think, God, I just had a blast. What a great night. And then, oddly enough, sometimes a panic sets in. I've been dealing with anxiety for my whole life. It's my secret. Anxiety, that word. I do think we've come a long way, but it still is a bit of a taboo in our society to talk about. So today, I want to share with you the 3 things that I've learned through my experiences in dealing with it. But first, I want to share with you how it manifests in my life. It can be kind of like this dark cloud, and I see it in the distance. It's slowly rolling towards the shore. And it may take a day or 3 days to arrive, but I feel it coming the whole time. I may go for a run, take a bath, and drink a glass of wine, or watch a comedy. But it doesn't really matter what I do to try to quell it or distract myself. That cloud is still going to arrive. And when it does, I'm going to have to weather the storm. Now, the second way that it manifests is through panic attacks. And I'm going to borrow from Winston Churchill, because when he described his depression, he likened it to that of a black dog. And I think that's really an appropriate way to describe how it feels sometimes when I have a panic attack. It can be like this angry animal just bounding around the corner, snarling and baring its teeth at me. I definitely have triggers for the panic attacks. Like, I don't know, when I have a very intense emotional moment sometimes, after a quarrel with a friend or a lover, or counterintuitively, post-art opening. And I think, really, now? It can be a bit of a confusing and frustrating animal. Now, I also know that I am an HSP, which is a highly sensitive person. And Dr. Elaine Aron, she's a researcher and psychotherapist, coined this term. And in her study, she found that 15 to 20% of our population are HSPs. I've always known that I'm a sensitive person. When I'm sad, I get this deep pit in my stomach sometimes, or when I'm anxious, it's hard to go to sleep at night, and I just turn things over and over and over in my mind. And even though I tell my brain, relax, let go, it just won't release me. But now, it's not all doom and gloom, this sensitivity thing. There is a flip side. There are days when everything is just magnified in the most fantastic and romantic way. I'm walking down the street, and the sun is shining, and the leaves on the trees are this perfect hue of orange, and even the crinkling sound they make in the breeze, also perfect. Everything about the moment is pure bliss. Or the glorious first lick of a mint chocolate chip ice cream cone, it always swoops me back to age 3. Now, I know I'm not alone. I have friends that are HSPs as well. And it's not uncommon for us to be walking down the street and one of us exclaim, "Oh my God, look at this rust on this pipe. It's so stunning, the colors." I even have a friend who was fascinated by the shape of a milk carton. And it's these overlooked things that really inspire me and inform my art making. Like the image on the screen behind me. I shot this when I was in Berlin, and I just had to stop because these posters, they'd been plastered one on top of the other, and all of the tattered edges, the wear and tear, all of these colors came together to form this beautiful image. It's these surprise moments that fill me with a feeling of gratefulness and hope, a feeling that everything is right in the world. So I want to share with you the 3 things that I've learned. I've learned how to harness my anxiety into a positive force. And the first is through empowerment. There are times when I get this increase in energy, when I'm really anxious. And instead of allowing it to paralyze me, I try to use it to help others. Like this project that I did with high school students. I came and gave a lecture, and we did a skateboard art project together, and then we had an exhibition of the work. And we had an art auction, and we made some sales. And part of that money went back to the school, and now they're using it to purchase much-needed art supplies. But the other outcome was that the students had this increase in self-confidence, and they had new experiences, and some of them even got interviewed on the local news. But I can't tell you how rewarding that was to take this thing that we think of as such a negative, the anxiety, and transform it into new possibilities and opportunity. Now, the second thing I've learned is that art is my therapy. I admit there are still days that I struggle, and all I want to do is sit in my PJs all day and watch Downton Abbey. But there are other days when I just dive headfirst into my art. John Love Jr., who's a friend of mine and a wonderful artist and meditation expert, once told me, well, you know, creating is its own form of meditation. And I really find that to be true. Let me explain what I mean. There are days when I'm in the studio, I'm painting away, reflecting, thinking really hard, and then all of a sudden it becomes intuitive. And then 8 hours have flown by and I didn't even realize it. And that's what we call being in the zone. It really is this meditative state. It's such a gift to be able to become comfortably lost in the act of creation. It's very healing, and I find solace in that. Now, lastly, I try to take my anxiety and use it as fuel for my creativity. So when I'm painting, I'm trying to find the energy of place. I'm incorporating textures and layers and color. But I'm also making decisions as I go. What do I leave bare? What do I cover up? What do I leave semi-transparent? I try to leave hints or traces of what once was there or what lies beneath. And likewise, we humans, we make choices. What do we leave vulnerable? What do we keep inaccessible? What debris do we carry along with us? You know, anxiety may be something that I deal with for the rest of my life. In my 20s, I looked at it as this problem. I just needed to eliminate it and move on. But as I've grown older and had more experiences, I've become a lot more accepting of myself. And now I view it as more of this tussle. And I realize that the anxiety comes from the same place that my sensitivity comes from, which is what allows me to create, find solace, and help others. So I wouldn't trade it for the world. Thank you.